Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Chimpso here, back with the Singe game for you today. This time I'm doing something a little bit different, as is pretty much, well, every single video that I'm releasing during this preseason, because, you know, this is the best time to try new shit. I'm trying out some Ignite Singed in the top lane. Not something I've ever really played before. It's just teleport always used to be better because of the fact that the reduced cooldown on towers, it got massively buffed, and then, you know, it sort of became the summoner spell in the top lane. But, yeah, teleport's now back to its old state. Obviously, still a very good summoner spell. Still almost certainly the best summoner spell for Singe, in my opinion. Well, okay, Ghost would take that that pedestal. But still, teleport is very amazing. You know, not as good, but still amazingly good. But, you know, with lane Singe pretty much coming back into vogue now, you can't really proxy much anymore. I'll only go for a proxy in situations that are incredibly dire, like if I'm up against, I don't know, like a Heimerdinger top or something like that. You know, teleport is actually a very good option. You can decide to pick it in certain matchups if you like. You also notice that I have Thunderlords. Now, this is another thing I'm trying out. Instead of going 0, 18, 20, 22, or sorry, 0, hold on, 0, 18, 0, 12, 18, rather, going for 18 in Resolve and grabbing Grasp of the Undying. I decided this game, because I'm taking Ignite, to go 0, 18, 12, taking the Magic Pen and Armor Pen and Cunning, as well as Thunderlord's Decree, because obviously Thunderlord's Decree is, you know, OP as shit at the moment. Now, this isn't like a no-brainer, guys, because you do give up. Giving up Grasp of the Undying isn't that, you know, huge. Grasp of the Undying, honestly, isn't good on Singe. It's just the best. It's probably just, like, the best one for him. None of the keystones are really good on Singe. Probably Thunderlords and Grasp of the Undying are the best keystones for him, but you give up the 15% tenacity and slow resist because, you know, you got to put those extra points in there to get the Keystone Mastery and Cunning if you want to get Thunderlord's Decree. So you do give up the tenacity and the slow resist, which means if you get Merc Treads, you only get 20% tenacity from them, which isn't really that good. But yeah, that's the sort of price you pay if you want to go for Thunderlords. So you have to. It's not a no-brainer decision. But you see how powerful the Ignite is, especially against somebody like Jax. Jax is probably the easiest matchup for a Singed. You know, I Goof Flip him here, and that easily procs my Thunderlords. Sorry, not Goof Flip, Scar Auto Attack him, which easily procs my Thunderlords, because you need 3 instances of damage to proc the Thunderlords. Your poison only counts as 1, and that's the initial proc of poison on the enemy champion. Like, every time it's refreshed, it'll do 1 tick of Thunderlords. But, you know, you run up, turn your poison on Fling, which is 1 instance, they go into your poison, which is another, Scar Auto Attack, that's 3, you get the Thunderlords proc. And there with the Ignite, I was just able to kill him. But, yeah, you know, with Jax coming back into vogue, this game is really stompy. I'm just gonna, spoiler alert here, I get ridiculously fed. But, you know, with Jax, you know, coming back into vogue again, you know, with the Rage Blade, him being ridiculous as shit, I wanted to make a Jax gameplay again, and show you sort of how you can deal with him, because an Ignite early on will really shit on a Jax, because there is absolutely nothing a Jax can do. This is literally one of the few lanes that Singed actually counters at all stages, you know. Alawi, early on, she sort of shits on you, but you rush some armor and she just can't do anything. You just run circles around her all day. But Jax, you just shit on him all over the early game. Early game, mid game, you just destroy Jax. He obviously comes back later on, and you know he scales harder than you. But you know, if you can just put him down so much early game, you can even outscale him. It's pretty crazy. But the best thing to do against a Jax, who, you know, most Jax's flavor of the month guys, they don't main him, so they probably don't have much experience with the Singe matchup. You know, if he jumps on you, just fling him away. A good Jax will, you know, activate his counter strike and then jump on you as soon as it's about to activate, so he can stun you immediately when he jumps on you. But if he tries to jump on you, just fling him off. You know, that's all you do. And it's so squishy early on that he just can't deal with that. So I'm gonna go help out Volibear here. See what I can do. But you know, just came to show some presence there. I couldn't, you know, really catch up to get anything done. But gonna drop some wards there. Go back into top lane. I do want to go aggressive on Jax, but My Ignite isn't up yet, 50 seconds, so I'm going to have to wait on that. When you have Ignite, you really have to play around it. If there is an Ignite in play pretty much anywhere, whether it's your opponent's or yours, you have to play around it because it's so much damage, in a trade. It's just, it's what, like fucking all that true damage, and it can easily turn the tide in another champion's favor. So you always have to play differently when there's an Ignite in play, much more differently than you have to play if there was, a teleport. So, if I had Ignite there, he would have been dead, but I didn't, and he's going to stick around to his detriment, because my Ignite's going to come back up soon, and you sure as hell know that I'm going to go for it. My Thunderlord's cooldown will be back up, so as soon as my Ignite comes up, I'm going to go aggressive on him, and I'm just going to simply kill him. It's not going to be much of a, stretch. But, yeah, obviously, against the Jax, you want to go for that early damage, go for those Doran's Ring. This is not a Rod of Ages matchup. You go Rod of Ages, you're just giving up all your kill pressure. So go for those early Doran's Rings, and if you can, rush a needlessly large rod, even if you got to give up boots for it, because if you can just kill him over and over again and put him down, it's going to be crazy. Here, I feign running past the tower as if I'm going to proxy, then I turn on him, and I just, Thunderlord's proc, Ignite, poison, he dies. So he stuck around there when my Ignite was up. Shouldn't have done that, and he paid for it. And yeah, I'm just going to keep farming. Keep farming, getting kills. My farm's a little bit poor, but because I've been killing him so many times, it's sort of okay. Farm, you got to adjust for how the game's going. If the game is an absolute bloodbath, obviously farm, there's going to be less farm all around because people are giving up the creeps just to go for kills. But, even though I'm 36 farm in almost 7 minutes, I'm still doing perfectly fine because I've got that kill gold. So, yeah. Now I've got that needlessly large rod, this guy's completely fucked. There's just nothing that he can do. If he tries to come even close to these creeps, I will just do so much damage to him, and he just stands no chance of actually doing anything to me without items. And I'm going to be, several levels ahead of him this entire laning phase, so he just has no chance. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say about this game, so I will just talk about, the overarching strategy of taking Ignite, because you can just watch and enjoy me stomping him. I'll chime in every now and again, but, it's just entertainment at this point. Gonna pop Ghost and just go for him. I didn't expect to kill him here. I'm just like, fuck it, I'm so far ahead, I'll just dive him. Goo flip him, and look at all that damage that I do with that needlessly large rod. And I'm just gonna go back in and kill him here, quite simply, when my fling comes up, but... Ignite, against the Jack, yeah, always go Ignite, because you know that you can bully him around. Lucky I had my potion ticking there, that's why you always have a potion ticking. But, yeah, if you're against a Jax at this point, because, you don't proxy anymore, always go Ignite. You're just gonna shit on him so hard. Rush early AP, go Ignite. Even if you get camped by the enemy jungler, you should have a kill or two off of him, at which point you can probably just 1v2 them. But, there's a lot of matchups where obviously going Ignite is a terrible idea. You don't want to go Ignite against a Gnar. You don't want to go Ignite against pretty much any ranged top laner. It's terrible. But things like, Lowy, Poppy, squishy stuff like J4, maybe even Lee Sin, although I'll probably still go Teleport because Lee Sin would shit on you early game. You can go for Ignite and just do so much damage to them early on. It's really good, but you got to remember, it's all or nothing when you go Ignite. You sacrifice a lot of late game power and pressure by going that Ignite, so you sort of have to, you rely on just getting all those kills to actually be effective later on. And if you do, obviously, you're way more effective than you would have been if you go Teleport. But if you just sort of go even and all you're doing is farming, then you're sort of in trouble, because Teleport would have been much more valuable in that situation when it comes to the mid and late game. But if you know that you can just stomp the lane, if you're definitely if you're up against a Jax, go for Ignite. He won't be able to do shit against you. It's embarrassing. It's sad. I feel bad for this guy, not because I'm stomping him, but I've been in this situation. I played Singed versus Vayne. I know what it's like to not be able to do fucking anything. So he just can't do a thing. It's pretty damn scary for him. But yeah, Ignite's a risk. It's not. It's very tactical. It's a risk, and going for Thunderlords is a risk as well. Because, like I said, you give up that tenacity. If you are going to go for an Ignite, then you definitely want to go for Thunderlords to get that extra damage. But once again, that if you don't do well early game, you're gimping yourself there as well, because you give up that 15% tenacity and that slow resist in the resolve tree. So if you go Merc Shreds, they're going to be nowhere near as effective. But you know, if you can get, you know, 4 or 5 kills off your lane opponent early on, or you could get, you know, a cheeky double kill if the jungler tries to gank you, you will, like, royally fuck them over, like, ridiculously hard in the mid game. So it is a risk you have to sort of decide for yourself, like, what am I going to do? Do I want to go for very, like, all-out aggressive early, build a lot of AP, or do I want to go very defensive early on? You know, if you're building Rod of Ages, or, you know, rushing a defensive item first, like a Dead Man's Plate, which you would do in certain matchups, like a Gnar or something like that, yeah, go teleport, of course, because you're going to get pushed out of lane, and you want to have that TP to get back into lane and try and make plays elsewhere to try and get that lead. But, you know, if you know that you can just fuck with your lane opponent so hard, try out Ignite, you know, and go for a Thunderlords as well. You will really fucking hurt them. But yeah, nothing too much is going on in this game. Our Nasus is somehow winning against this Victor mid. I don't know how Nasus mid wins against Victor mid, but somehow it does. I guess he sort of just sustains through all the mana issues. Bot lane isn't going too badly either. Yeah, Volibear is on a tear this game as well. Me and Volibear just tear this shit up. We go crazy. But, yeah, there's not really much of a chance for the enemy team to do much here. Volibear and I are just so ridiculously oppressive and will become so ridiculously tanky and with so much CC once I get my Rhyhlights that we just sort of pin them down and just slowly grind them out. There's not much that they can do. Here I'm looking to gank mid, so you know, I want to come behind Victor, but fortunately I get Rengar comes in, slows me up, but missed a go flip here, which is unfortunate, but they can't kill me, not with my ult running, so I'm just going to run through them here. And this is why I still go hybrid pen marks on Singed. Look at my auto attacks here. These auto attacks get me the kill. Scar auto attack there, and another auto attack here on the back end. That gives me the kill there. A lot of people are saying that now that minions have no armor, you know, you don't need to go hybrid pen marks, go magic pen. I disagree. Go hybrid pen. Because I never went hybrid pen to help me kill minions. That wasn't even a factor in me going hybrid pen. And especially if you're going for Thunderlords in the Resolve tree, and you're getting that, what's it called? The Precision Mastery in the Cutting tree, which gives you bonus bonus armor and magic pen. Definitely hybrid pen marks are really good. Because, you know, you just do so much damage with those autos. You have such a high base AD. You don't have the highest in the game, but you have one of the highest. And, yeah, it just does so much damage. There, I tried to steal the blue buff, but unfortunately, I would have got it there, but I miscalculated my mana. Didn't have enough mana to go in for that final fling, so I do die. But, obviously, I denied the blue buff, so nobody gets it. So, whatever, that's fine by me. That's the main point in getting the blue buff anyway, is Singed, to deny it. You know, you don't really get the blue buff, because Singed doesn't really need the mana. It helps, obviously, especially if you're not going for a lot of ages. But you don't really need it. So, it's mainly just denying the blue buff. That's the reason why you always go for it there. So, yeah. Accomplished my mission. Finished off my Rhyhlights, got my Merc Treads, so I got, you know, sort of my core build here, my boots, my Rhyhlights, and I'm actually going to go straight into a Leandries here. I just want to snowball my lead super hard. I know that I can fight. Like, there's nothing on the enemy team that I cannot fight 1v1, or hell, even 1v2. You can probably combo up any set of enemies on the enemy team, 2v1, and I would kill them all. So at that point, I know, like, yeah, I can safely go for more damage here and just, you know, keep snowballing that advantage. Because if they can't kill you, what's the point in going for tank? You're just, you know, wasting stats. You might as well go for more damage. Gonna keep pushing out here, and you know, just keep pushing down this tower. Don't want Jax to roam still, because that's annoying. You know, Jax can still get a few kills and then, you know, shit on my team. Don't want that to happen, so constant pressure top lane. Singed is the best farmer in the game. There's no contest about that. Like, sure, there are champions who benefit better from farm, like, you know, like a Nasus will benefit more from farm than a Singed will. But, you know, Singed farms the best in the game. He has the best wave clear ability in the game. There's no doubt about that. And, here, I'm 3 levels ahead of this guy. Well, yeah, I was 3 level. He was level 8, I was level 11. He just has no chance. You can't stand that close to me. Even if he's under tower, I will just kill him. So, there you go. Ignite finishes off the kill there. I'm going to start working on this tower here. Or, like, I've said this before, but if you have a chance to get damage on this second tier tower as Singed, always take it. Because this tower is ridiculously hard to push down if somebody's standing on top of it. Because it's very risky to go behind that tower. So, yeah, always try and get damage on this tower whenever you can. And destroy it if you can. But yeah, Singed is the best farmer in the game. There is no other champion that farms as well as Singed does. Obviously, there are champions that benefit more from farm. But nothing can push down a wave like Singed. So, yeah, always keep that in mind. Always know that you can easily push it down. You can easily, like, farm a wave while running to somewhere. You know, you want to go join the dragon fight, push out mid-wave. It takes you, you know, less than a second while you're on your way. So, he is the best farmer. You can easily apply split push pressure with him. But obviously, he's balanced in that regard in that he can't really push down towers. So, he's really good at pushing minions, but he can't push towers too well. So that's the sort of trade-off you get, you know, as opposed to, say, if you're playing Tryndamere, who, you know, has some wave clear, but nowhere near as good as Singed, but you know, he pushes down towers like a beast. Same thing with Nathus, you know, mediocre sort of wave clear with his E, but fucking hell, he gets on top of a tower, he's going to kill that thing in, you know, 5 or 6 hits with his Q, so, you know, there you go. But here we are again. Jax is just, you know, overextended. I actually pop Ghost here. I don't know why I don't pop ult, but I pop Ghost. Actually turns out to be the right thing to do. It works out here, because I'm going to kill him. He does a lot of damage. He's gone full damage, which he should be doing, because going tank wouldn't help him at all. I would just kill him anyway. Yeah, he's still with Jax, does a lot of damage, but Victor comes in here. Now I pop my ult, and that's what saves me here. So actually it ends up working out. And I'm actually going to kill this guy. Just watch how I do it here. I got my ult running. I'm waiting for my fling cooldown to come back. So I run into the bush. And, you know, run out. And I get the Thunderlord's proc on him here. Fling into poison with the Scarlet attack. Gets the Thunderlord's proc. He dies. So, yeah. Nothing much he can do there. Yeah, I just waited for my cooldown on my fling to come back up. Ran into the bush to break vision. And it just came out and obliterated him. And I had my ult running, so I was getting all that extra magic resist, and I was getting that health regen, so, you know, a lot of the damage he did to me, I got back. So, yeah, he didn't really stand a chance. Going into Leandri's here, obviously the enemy team isn't that tanky, but it's just so much damage that, at this point, it doesn't really matter. His damage is damage. So, you know, I'll take it no matter what. And, you know, obviously, if the game does go into late, Jax will get tanky, so it will help there anyway, so... If they had something like, I don't know, a Riven top lane, I probably wouldn't have gone for a Leandri here, even if I was shitting on her this hard, because obviously it's not going to do much when she's not really going to get tanky. No one in the team's going to get really tanky. Rengar isn't. But, you know, I would probably go on for, you know, depending on their team, maybe like a Zonya's even, just for the armor and the damage. But considering how expensive it is, maybe not. Might have gone for like an Abyssal. But, you know, Jax will get tanky later on, so go for that Leandri's, because it will help if the game goes on longer. And even if it doesn't, it's so much damage in this early part that, you know, the extra damage from fucking the tank doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't know what the enemy team's doing. They're probably given up at this point, so I'm going to just come behind them here. They get the Rift Herald, but they put themselves in such a bad position that, you know, we're just going to come in here and I'm just going to flip Zara, and she's going to die, pretty simply. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much Ignite Singed. You know, it's all or nothing. It's very, you know, heavily focused on the early game and sort of like, you know, before 10 minutes. You know, if you can get an advantage before then, you will absolutely shit on people. But if you don't, you sort of, you know, you're not as good as you would be if you had teleports. That's a risk you got to take. Here, I'm just shits and giggles. That was a really stupid dive, obviously, but you know, we're so far ahead, it doesn't even matter. I'm just testing out to see what I can do. But, yeah, you know, it's not a 100% thing. You know, there are people who are like, oh, I always go Ignite Singe because I'm a lane Singe player. Like, no. Sometimes you want to definitely go for that that teleport. You know, if you're up against a Nah, you're fucking crazy if you take Ignite. He's just going to shit all over you. Unless he's a ridiculously bad Nah, that just lets you get on top of him every 5 seconds, then Ignite would be good. But in any other situation, no, Ignite would be a terrible idea. But yeah, you know, teleport's still, you know, the safest option for Singed, but Ignite can work in some scenarios. Definitely if you're against a Jax top, take Ignite. Like, for fuck's sake, you will shit on him so hard. But, yeah, if against, you know, any of the traditional counters to Singed, like Vlad, Nah, fucking Vayne top if you're that unlucky, anything ranged. Hell, even a Lowy, I'd say, because, like, Lowy, she shits on you early on, but, you know, you come back really hard later, but you still need that teleport early on to sort of, you know, survive with that CS deficit that you have. But, you know, things that you can reliably shit on early game. And since there's not too many of them, you know, it's a risk most of the time taking Ignite. But, you know, you gotta look at the game, look at the enemy team, decide, you know, can I do this, can I do that? And, you know, come to your own conclusions. But, yeah, teleport, I'd still go most of the time. And same with Grasp the Undying versus Thunderlords. I mean, we'll have to see if they don't nerf Thunderlords, maybe, you know, maybe it will become the spell for Singe, but giving up that slow resist and resolve to get the Keystone Mastery and Cunning is really big, you know. Singe is all about running straight at people. His main weakness is being kited. So giving up tenacity and slow resist, especially the huge amount that you get from the resolve tree, yeah, sort of is really sucky. Nothing too much else is going to go on here. I'm going to go on Jax again, but I'm pretty sure they're going to surrender, like, right here, before this fight ends, but I would have killed him here. So there you go. That's Ignite Singed. Keep in mind what I said, you know, it's not 100%, you know, always pick it. Same with Thunderlord. Still, Grasping Undying with Teleport will still be what you want to go most of the time, but you can definitely make Ignite Singe work. So thank you all for watching, guys. Like and subscribe if you like the video. I'm trying to do, I know there's a black screen here, but bear with me. I'm trying to do one non-Singe game for every Singe game I make, so the next commentary will be a non-Singe game. But that's the sort of formula I'm trying to look for here. But apart from that, guys, thank you for watching. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Chimso, and hope you all had a great day. Catch you in the next video.